Hi, this is Daniela Wolf with Bestie Life, the podcast, and this is your community to support you through the little and not so little events that make up your day-to-day life. From the I've got this moments to the I just can't moments. We are here to empower all women to find and develop the skills they need to find peace, balance, and the bliss in their busy. Through solo episodes as well as interviews with amazing women who share their journey and their story and how it works for you. I hope you find the inspirations to make you laugh, think, as well as maybe rethink what you thought you knew, and connect as we realize that we are all living similar ups and downs and don't have to do it alone. So excited for you to hear this episode, and thanks so much for joining me today. Hi, this is Bestie Life, the podcast, helping you find the bliss in your busy. I'm Daniela, and today I am with Alexi McKinley. She is a PR and marketing strategist for personal brands. Hey, Lexi, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good. I am so glad we were able to reconnect. I know we talked a little bit ago on your podcast, and I was so excited and had so much fun doing that. And I just couldn't wait to have you here to talk to my listeners about all things business, motherhood, life, and everything else in between. So if you want to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Hi. Well, thank you so much for having me in the first place. I know this was a journey to get on here. For those of you who don't know me or we haven't met before, my name's Alexi McKinley, and I am a PR and marketing strategist for personal brands and small to medium-sized businesses, but it always was not that way. I started off as an Instagram coach, and that kind of burnt me out because there was really a rat race around like, oh, who could keep up with the tips the fastest? Who could post the tips the fastest? And like, recycle the things that the head of Instagram is saying and show that to their listeners instead of just sharing. And I really got burnt out doing that. So I started looking more into myself and my ideal client and what I actually wanted to do and what my ideal client needed. And the common theme that came to me was PR, getting people in the media, marketing strategy, and then a lot of mindset work. So it's just been a really beautiful evolution of where I've come, how I've helped my clients, and I'm super excited to be here to talk more about.
All of Alexi's links will be in the show notes, but if you follow her, you'll definitely see, like that was one of the things I loved was just, I could physically see you showing up differently. I could see the energy. And I love that you were willing to take that risk to pivot. Because I think sometimes we put ourselves in a trap and we stay there. Even if it doesn't feel right, there's all these reasons why, like you said, mindset of why we stay where we are rather than being able to pivot and be like, you know what, I'm going to go in this direction.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are afraid of pivoting because of what you just said, and everybody gets kind of stuck in their ways, and like change is scary, and growth, I mean, that's where growth happens, is when you change and you face obstacles. I think the biggest reason why I pivoted was because I realized I wasn't being 100% myself. There was one post in particular that kind of set me free. And once I posted that, I lost 40 followers, but I signed 3 clients in the same day, and I've only been building from there. So that was really good affirmation and confirmation to me, like, okay, you're on the right track. But before that, I was silencing myself and staying quiet and just kind of like saying I was being a trend or a trailblazer in my industry, but really I was just doing what everyone else was doing. And now I'm kind of at the point now where if I'm looking to other people to give myself validation and affirmation that I'm doing the right thing, then I'm doing the wrong thing, because it shouldn't come from what everyone else is doing. If everyone else is doing the same thing as me, or I'm doing the same thing as everyone else, then I'm not being a leader in my industry. Leaders have to really step out and I'm not going to say be fearless, because there's always going to be fear there, but do it regardless of the fear. And I've gotten that comment a lot actually about you've shown up differently. I love your content lately. And that just shows the power of stepping into who you actually are to the core.
Right. And I love everything you said, not only just as, I know you talked about as far as in your industry, but I think in your life, in your family, all those same types of things. If you're looking for outside validation, if you're showing up a certain way to impress others, to make others happy, I think all those same reasons apply to how you just show up differently for yourself to to be your true self and live your best life. I think that all so aligned to everything that you not only speak of business wise, but modeled personally as well. Because you've also got a lot going on. You're a mom, right? You run another business, I believe, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have a 2-year-old and an almost 9-month-old. And we also have an Airbnb that we do full time. And then my husband has a tractor company here locally. I have my coaching, and then I'm pivoting to a PR agency right now. So there's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And that really was reflected when we were trying to get on this call. I kept rescheduling. I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, but I said to you on the side, I was like, this is exactly why I do this, is to help give ourselves that grace of this is life. Yeah, sometimes you have to reschedule something 3 times rather than stress yourself out just to make it happen for the sake of making it happen versus doing it when it's right. And that's the thing. And I know you were worried and you felt bad. And so I hope we can kind of all be just as forgiving and understanding that this is real. This is how it goes. And nobody's got it together and perfect like that 24/7. And yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of grace that has to come with that. I used to be the person who was really hard on other people because I was really hard on myself. And once I realized that I was really hard on people because of that, that was game changing for me. It was like, oh, okay, everything kind of makes sense now. And yeah, I mean, I'm never going to say like you can just go around hurting people and just being really flaky and blah, blah, blah. But I will say you have to give yourself grace in these moments because life is insane. Like we can't control the things that happen to us, but we can control what we put out into the world. And I mean, life happens. Like we all have things that happen that we can't control that are outside of our external control. So if you're listening to this and like you've had something like that where you just feel horrible, just give yourself grace. Like obviously communicate with the person that like you're supposed to be talking to or like hanging out with or whatever it is. Be communicative, but also give yourself grace because life is hard enough as it is. We don't need to beat ourselves
right up. Yeah, don't carry it with you. You've apologized, you let it go, and you keep going forward. Don't keep beating yourself up for it. So how would you say you find your bliss in all of this?
I am an introvert at heart, 100%. So, I mean, with having kids, as all parents know, like it really is a 24/7 job. People had told me that before I had kids, and I never understood it until I had kids. Like you don't get paid time off, you don't get sick leave. Like the biggest slap in the face to me, like I guess I should say the biggest wake up call to me was like when I first got sick and I had kids, like, sorry, they need you. You're still sick and you still got to take care of your kids. So that was really hard for me. But the biggest thing that I realized that really helps me get back to my core and find that bliss is to just be alone. Like nobody needs anything from me. Nobody's talking to me. I just want to sit in my thoughts. I want to lay in bed and just do whatever I want to do. I mean, because that's what I did before. And I was very happy before, but I mean, obviously I had different demons at that point. But now I just find so much bliss and joy just hanging out with myself. And I think that's a really cool place to be.
Absolutely. And I think knowing yourself well enough to know what you need, I think as an introvert, sometimes people, they see you're online, you're social, you're chatting. And I think there's a difference between being introverted and being social. It's about where your energy comes from. And so that you can, what's going to fill your cup back up so that you can show up for your kids, show up for your businesses and your family and everything else is so important, because that's the part where if we don't take that time for that one piece, nothing else will get done right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like it's the same thing if you're on an airplane, they always tell you before you take off, if these oxygen masks come down, you have to put yours on first before you help other people. And that's because if you can't breathe, how are you going to help someone else breathe? Right. So I think that's something that is really important, especially if you're a mom and a business owner and are juggling multiple things. You have to retreat to yourself. Do that thing that makes you feel good. Fill your cup back up before you can pour out to anybody else. And I think that's a huge problem that we see a lot on social media now, is that everybody's selfish. Everybody I'm using air quotes. Everybody's air quotes selfish, but we really do need to put ourselves first. We need to retreat to ourselves and realize the things that light our fire, that fill our cup, that make us feel joy. And a lot of times, I mean, I'm not extroverted, but some people find that in being around other people, but other people like me find it just hanging out with myself.
I have a cousin who's an extrovert, and her idea of a great time is like 5 families sharing a house, where to me that's like exhausting.
Yep. I'm already tired about that.
But I think just she knows herself well enough to know that's what lights her up. And you hear so much about the burnout epidemic that's happening right now with moms, with women working from home, and all these kind of things. And the thing, burnout isn't just that stress and that constant fire. It's the absence of any flame. It's done. It's, void of anything. And that's the part where it's like, where do you get the energy from then if you get to that point of burnout? And so it's not selfish, because you've got nothing left to give if you get to that point.
Well, I felt like I was at that point last week. Like I was telling myself, I was journaling, and I was like, somebody always needs me for something. Like oh my gosh, one day I will tell you this really, like, this was when it really hit me. Both of my sons were crying. I have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old. And then both of my cats were meowing, and then my dog was whining too and following me around the house. And I was like, oh my gosh. My husband had just left to the store, and I was sick at that point too. And I was like, my head's going to explode. I can't, everybody needed something from me at that moment. And I was like, I can't even take care of myself at this point. That was like, okay, I need a vacation. After that, I actually booked a massage. I was like, I need to just relax, because that was a lot for me. Having somebody 100% dependent on you. I mean, like 2 kids and animals, and, making sure people are still alive. Like that's a tough job in itself. So you have to take care of yourself. Like with kids, especially, it's not like you can just clock out again. Like you have to take that time for yourself and not feel guilty about it, because how else are you going to take care of your family if you can't take care of yourself? You're modeling to your kids what self-care looks like. A lot of people don't realize that the way that, okay, say something really makes you angry, for example, and you throw your phone at the wall and kick stuff and you're modeling what that looks like to your kids, how you should act when you're angry. So I want to model to my kids, when I'm having a really hard moment, I want them to be like, okay, I need to breathe. I want them to be like, I'm going to go in my room so I don't freak out and I'll be back in a minute, and it's okay to take that time. It's okay to go get a massage. It's okay to go get a facial. It's okay to sit with yourself. It's okay to say, I need a minute so mommy doesn't blow up. But people make it so, I feel like there's a lot of mom shamers online who are like, you can't do that. You have to be around your kids 24/7 and find pure bliss and joy. And I'm like, no. That's not how it works for me.
No, I did a post last week, and it said, quality time with your kids does not equal endless time with your kids, and
that's good.
That's the point. I quoted somebody that I had read it somewhere, and I did think that was said it so well. It was so powerful, because that's the thing. We equate quality with hours and hours and hours, versus you can have an amazing half hour. That's so much better than you being distracted for 2 hours or irritable or frustrated, things like that.
Yeah, I heard that with your kids, I don't remember the quote, but it was something along the lines of what you just said about how kids don't know the amount of time that you're spending with them, but they know the quality of the time you're spending with them. So if it's 30 dedicated minutes where you're down on the ground playing with them, looking them in the eye, if they're little, obviously, they don't know that you're not spending all day with them. They just feel really grateful that you are spending that really quality time with them, uninterrupted present time with them.
They know they feel good after you leave, that you smiled and laughed, and that's absolutely what matters.
Yeah.
So what would you say people think you have, air quote, together, but really feel like you don't?
Oh, that
kind of peek behind the curtain a little.
Oh my gosh. That's another comment I've gotten a lot. They're like, how do you do it with, everybody thinks that I balance my Airbnb, the 2 businesses outside of that, the 2 kids, the traveling, like they think I have this lifestyle that I don't. I'm like, I have been feeling more anxiety lately than I have in a long time because I feel the weight of the world on me. And I also take care of my dad. Like I'm his caregiver because he had 2 massive strokes, and most days I'm like excited for everybody to go to bed so I can just like be alone and like just retreat to myself. And that's really hard because I get those comments. They're like, oh my gosh, how, like, I posted a screenshot of a DM I got the other day that was like, how do you like be the most amazing mom? How do you run the businesses and like still be a good person and da da da? I'm like, if you want the honest truth, like I'm not thriving. I'm surviving at this point. Like I have to keep all these people alive, including my father, which is a lot of pressure. Like,
and there's a lot of people. It's, the sandwich generation. You've got kids, you've got, grown parents you're taking care of, and it is just massive.
Yeah. And I mean, that I made a post specifically on the fact that I don't have my stuff together because I don't want people to be like, well, I should be just going nonstop and burning out and da 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 because, Lexi did it and she looks like she has everything together. And I went to my friend's, her kid's birthday party the other day, and somebody who was there was like, you look so much more happier on social media. And I was like, okay, well, fine. I'm going to share the real, like behind the curtain, because I don't ever want to portray that I'm like perfect or I have my shit together, because most of the time I don't. I'm just figuring it out as I go.
Right. No, and I love your honesty about this, because that is the thing. I think people see pictures and snapshots and moments in time versus everything else in between. And we really are sharing so many of the same struggles. That vulnerability connects us and helps to actually empower us and gives us strength. It breaks down that isolation that I think a lot of us feel. And so that's why I love these connections through people that, while we've only met on social media, that it's like an instant click, like I've known you for years.
Yeah. And when you share those things that feel very, very tender and vulnerable to you, that's something that somebody else could be struggling with that you didn't even know, but you sharing that gave them the subconscious permission slip to start talking about that thing. Because the thing that people don't realize is when you struggle in silence, that's where the depression and the anxiety and everything happens. Like when you can vocalize it and talk about it, if you talked about something that's very tender to you, something that you feel like is, nobody wants to hear, but then you say it out loud and then somebody goes, I've struggled with that too my whole life. That instantly takes a weight and a burden off of you.
Absolutely. It's that instant connection, that instant friend, like, oh my gosh, you too. Absolutely.
You don't have to be, we don't have to be alone. Like humans are hardwired for connection. So
would you say that's part of your brand?
Yeah, I think my superpower, honestly, is I had a very traumatic relationship that I really started getting interested in psychology after that. So what blossomed from that was my superpower of like, I really enjoy understanding the road that led people to where they are. I think it's the most fascinating thing in the world that there's no one person on the planet who sees the world the exact same way or is the same person at all. Like we are all 100% different. How many people are there on the planet? Like 6 billion or something?
Right.
7 billion, 8 billion? Like none of those people are the same. Right. So I love hearing what was your childhood like? What traumas happened? Like, what was your family dynamic? Like, what life experiences happened that really shaped who you are? Because every moment up to right now has shaped us in some way or another. And I think that's really
every decision we've made, every path we took or thought we should have taken, absolutely brings us to where we are. And I was reading something or listening to something where they said you don't see how the dots connect until after, when you can look back. But it's amazing to be able to have that appreciation for where you are now because of the way those things happened.
Oh yeah. I mean, and you can find a silver lining in anything, even the worst of things. And I'm sure some people don't want to hear that, but it's true. Like, okay, for example, my dad, before he has had 2 strokes. So it was August of 2020, he had his stroke and I found him like completely paralyzed on one side. He had been there for like 3 days. Like, it was very traumatic for me to like witness that, see my dad, a grown man, completely helpless. But before the stroke, he was very angry. He kind of was having like delusions, for lack of a better word. But then the stroke did something to him. I don't even know what it did, but now he's calm. He's learning how to talk again, but like he has a better outlook on life. And while that stroke was very traumatic for him and, me and the family, now it's like he's rekindled these relationships with family that he hadn't talked to in 20 years. Like there's beautiful things that come out of traumatic things if you look for them, if you allow those things, the light to shine on those things.
Yeah. And that definitely leads into one of the things I always like to talk about with my guests is gratitude. I think that's a big part of self-care, being able to focus on what went well, focus on those positives and things like that. So what would you say are kind of your top 3 things you're most grateful for, your top 3 G's?
Oh gosh, I'm thankful for my family's health. Like that's the number one thing. I'm thankful. Secondly, that I have gone through everything in my life that got me to here. Like I think my mindset has shifted in a way I would have never had if I hadn't gone through everything else. So my mindset, my family's, everybody's health, mindset. And then what's the third thing I'm grateful for? Let's see. The growth that I've just had overall, the growth that like I've had that I've been able to translate like in my family, with my clients. Just where I am now is somewhere that I'm very proud of. I mean, and it's not going to ever stop here. It's going to continue going, but I'm just very grateful for everything that life has brought me.
For the journey, it sounds like.
Yes, the journey. Yes.
Awesome. So where can people find you, Lexi?
I have my website, which is www.upwestsocial.com. I also hang out on Instagram a lot, and my name on there is alexi.mckinley, alexi.mckinley. And then I have, what else? Oh, I'm on TikTok too, LinkedIn, whatever. I'm on all the social media.
All the links will be in the show notes. So absolutely, even if you're not a business and you're not looking for PR or branding or marketing, you're going to love watching her story, watching her journey, and just the real life that she brings. It has an energy, and I love just how authentic you are online, Lexi. So thank you for sharing that, because I think you make an impact in so many other areas that you don't even realize.
I'm a firm believer that if we don't share even the nasty along with the good, then we're just contributing to the fakeness that everybody hates on social media, because nobody has it good all the time. Like, let's bring some real life to social media. So that's kind of my mission.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lexi. And
thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know any questions or comments that you have. Also, if you can please leave an Apple 5-star review so that this episode can be shared with more women. There's 2 quotes that I love. Alone we may be strong, but together we are stronger, as well as when women support each other, incredible things happen. So let's be stronger and incredible together, as well as maybe just have some fun along the way. Thanks so much, and talk to you soon. Bye.